I'm gonna wait there.
Yes, Aaron.
I'm gonna watch this like camera.
Okay, no peanut gallery. Yeah, peanut gallery.
Wait, no, that was the best part. Let's do it again.
No. Thanks, John.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get started.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, it's recording.
No,
Okay.
No, but
So everyone was here last week, yeah?
I hope so.
Yes.
How about you go over everything you did last week just in case?
No. No, thank you.
Well, I say no, but I am gonna really quickly.
Except get rid of all
Hit
the
the guards.
apples.
Okay, go. Spark it. Okay, so last time we met, we talked about communications and project management. So today we're going to focus on content creation and lifelong learning tools. And hopefully, if we have time, I'm going to touch a little bit on research as well. As a very, very quick rundown, just as a reminder, we researched email communications, MailChimp, email templates, Spark app, the good email copy. What's wrong, Jackson?
Just keep going.
Noisely and Bear and Genius Scan.
What was the name of the email copy?
Email. Oh,
Scan.
just the good email. Oh, the scanner? The Genius Scan. Yeah. See, this is why I went back over them really quick, just so people could make sure they had the names. And then for project management, I talked about Toggle, which I recommend you all use. Dropbox Paper, Trello, Todoist, and the Chrome extensions, so Stay Focused, the Great Suspender, Colorzilla, all of those. Did anyone have any extra questions after the fact about any of the stuff that we talked about last week? Nope.
What is Chrome?
The internet.
That's an irrelevant question.
What is?
Okay. Man, Grace is keeping me on task. All right. Okay, so we're going to start out with content creation. Obviously, at some point in your careers, you're going to be creating some type of content for work, and it's very helpful to have some tools in your back pocket. And I've organized these in a couple categories for promotion, design, and also for research. Before we get started, though, I wanted to
Oh boy.
put in another poll.
Ooh.
This is the same place, so Menti.com, and the new code is here. I'll open it up right now.
Oh yeah. Where's a good old Russian bot link?
So the question is, what have you created in the past year? Have you done any presentations, social media, email newsletters, copies or copywriting? Have you made a resume or a portfolio? Have you built a website?
Back to the code, please.
Go back. The code's right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm blind. It's fine.
It's 691477.
16.
Hold it.
What have?
Oh, why am I?
Literally everything.
Literally everything. Hey, are we having issues seeing the TV because of this window over here?
No.
Okay. I was
Oh my
just-
gosh, stop all that.
Okay.
What if you've created multiple? Oh.
There's an option for multiple, right?
Not on mine.
How? How did you get there? He's on the poll from last week.
What?
Hi.
It takes a lot of skill. What?
Bro, I don't even know, but just vote.
Right into the system.
What?
I don't know.
Wait, can you join this poll multiple times?
The only way that would happen is if
I've
you
done
didn't reload it again. That's so.
It kept your cookies.
I deleted all of them.
I like to keep
Hey,
my
that's
own
good.
cookies.
It means you are
I like my personal
multifaceted.
That's the best one.
Mm.
See if this works.
Chocolate chip personal.
Nope.
I'll play as the Russian bot.
Alright, we are.
Okay.
Is the reason I have trust issues.
I think mostly everyone has gotten in, yeah? Okay. So, clearly we've had quite a
So it's
few
that one?
people
Or is it that?
developing websites. And I know I've actually watched most of you guys in your presentations. And
Okay.
resumes and portfolios, we've all had to do those while we're here at Apprentice University. Who picked other? And give me an example of what you picked for other.
You can't vote multiple times.
Andrew.
I shot my cousin's wedding video.
Video. There you go. So
Out of
video.
season.
Was it a lot,
Right.
Andrew?
What?
Graphic design.
Yeah.
Graphics for different companies.
Illustrations.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, video production, graphic design, different things like that also could count as things you've created this past year. Some of these might be less helpful with those than others, but hopefully all of you will be able to make use of at least one or two of these tools. So, the first thing I want to touch on is more for promotion, and especially when it comes to social media promotion. Social media is inevitable in your careers. I'm sure we all already know this. And if you just talk to some of our apprentices right now, a lot of our apprentices are having to take on the social media of the corporate partners that they're working with to help. I know Grace and Faith have both told me that they've had to deal with that a lot. So both in your own personal career as well as with being an apprentice at different corporate partners, you're going to be dealing with social media on quite a normal basis. Now, since there's so many different social media platforms and so many do different things and you have to balance all of them quite often, it's good to have tools that make it a little bit less daunting. And so for that, I recommend a tool called Buffer. Has anyone heard of Buffer other than Andrew?
It's the person who kicks people out.
Okay, good. So this is a little bit less known.
Is it for real systems like Windows?
It's for everyone. This one is, oh my goodness. Listen. This one is for everyone. It's web-based as well. You can get it for your mobile, as a mobile app, and it's not a desktop version, it's just the browser version. So Buffer is a tool that helps you automate your social media content and keeps you less stressed about the immediacy of all of your social media, because that's something that happens when you're running social media, is that everything has to be going out consistently and often. And that can be very exhausting if you have to do that every single day, multiple times a day, depending on what you're doing. And if you're managing it alone, that's even more daunting. So this takes the stress off of that. What Buffer is really good about is linking to all different kinds of the major platforms. So a lot of tools, especially in the free versions, will limit how many platforms you can use to automate all of your content towards. Buffer does them all together. So you can have Instagram, you can have LinkedIn, you can have Pinterest, you can use obviously Twitter and Facebook. All of those platforms all integrate with Buffer, which is fantastic. You can schedule all of your social media posts and track all of your analytics for your social media posts in one dashboard. I can show you what that looks like. So if you come up here, this is our Buffer. This is the past reminders for our Buffer because it's easier to kind of see. I'm going to blow this up for you guys. So our Buffer includes an Instagram, a LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter all right now at the same time. It's a little empty at the moment. I think it ran out just today, actually. So what you can do is there'll be this little thing called your queue, and you can. What?
Who's drumming?
Jackson.
No, I'm innocent. That's why there's two hands.
Sorry.
It's okay. So Buffer has the queue, and so you can either post individually on whatever platform. So let's say I have an Instagram post. I write my little post here, yada yada, I put all my hashtags, I add a photo right here, click this blue button that says add queue, and it'll add it to your queue. And what you will have to do is Buffer can do this for you. Buffer can automatically pick when things schedule, depending on its parameters for judging how well your posts do at different times. It'll set it up for you. Or you can customize your schedule to post only Mondays through Fridays at this specific time, and then if you click add to your queue, it'll automatically add it to where it belongs. And so you just click the button and it'll do it for you. The other nice thing is that if you want to do multiple social media posts that kind of look all the same, that you just want to customize per network, you can add all 4 of them. And what you can do is put a message in here, and then it'll let you customize each message depending on where you're putting it on which platform. Then you just, again, blue button, done, perfect. And I recommend Buffer more than others because Buffer is a more well-known platform. Where's my mouse? Sorry. Buffer's a little more well-known, so it has more access to direct integrations with platforms. especially with Instagram. So a lot of these social media automation tools, they don't connect directly to Instagram. Instagram's weird. It has weird rules and regulations. So a lot of tools, they actually have to use they're a third party that can't publish directly to Instagram for you. So what you have to do is it'll send you a notification on your phone saying, hey, it's time to post to Instagram, and you have to do it yourself. So it kind of beats the point of automating the whole thing. But Buffer actually just recently set it up so that you can just schedule to post automatically to Instagram, which saves you the extra time and you don't have to worry about that as well. Which is why I say Buffer's probably the best way to go. Andrew.
How are they able to do that? Because in Instagram's terms of service, it says it has to be posted by someone on a mobile phone by like that person.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it. They signed, and it was in their updates for users. They signed a big contract with Instagram. Like they actually had to make a business contract with Instagram to do this kind of thing. Which is why I say Buffer is probably your best bet when it goes to this kind of stuff. If you're going to be using Instagram, that is. Otherwise, I still think Buffer is the easiest and most user-friendly of the ones that I've tried. Like I said, you can publish automatically according to the best posting time that Buffer sets for you, or according to your own posting time. So for the free account, you can add up to 3 profiles and 10 posts in your queue for each account. So what'll happen is you can have 3 different platforms with 1 different profile on each. Some businesses will have multiple profiles on the same platform. Buffer Business will let you do that, but right now it's 3 platforms and 10 posts in each of those. So you can have like 40 total social media, 30 total social media posts scheduled in advance.
What are the profiles? What does it mean for profiles?
It means Instagram, it means Facebook, and it means Twitter, Facebook. I already said Facebook.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
So 3 different platforms.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. I know I
No,
explained
it
a
also
little
means 3
slides.
different logins. So you can have like 2 Facebook accounts, they're just different logins.
No.
Yes, I use this for New Pro and that's what we have.
Do they pay for the business plan? With the business plan, you have a lot more flexibility,
No,
which is what we have.
no, we don't. We have,
You're positive.
yes.
Interesting.
I'll just experiment with it.
Did we upgrade this?
We upgraded, yeah. So now we can connect a lot more. We're upgraded. We have a little bit more flexibility, which is why I'm not talking about those particular features because it's more expensive.
Okay, wait, when you upgrade, do you get up to 10 accounts, 10 profiles?
I believe so. You get up to
Okay,
10,
then maybe we
10
do
profiles, I
this
believe.
one, 'cause that's
10
what-
profiles. How far in advance can you post? I can post, I believe we have unlimited posting in
I
advance.
think we do.
Yeah. So if you end up managing a lot of social media for maybe your own business or someone else's business, and I would recommend bumping it up to Buffer Premium or Buffer Business, whichever one works best. Any questions about this particular thing? Okay, cool. Now, since a lot of you guys said that you've had to create resumes and presentations, one of our favorite tools, and I'm sure most of you guys know this because apparently Andrew already spread all the news about this. I use this tool consistently for a ton of AE work. And when I say a ton, I mean a ton. Canva is one of the easiest ways to create a variety of different media documents, or social media documents as well. I like Canva mainly because it's a way to design quickly, but also to design professionally. They do a really good job of making it very user-friendly, and they actually recently updated it, so it's even better in my opinion. But it keeps it so that you can tell when something looks professional and when something doesn't, but even if you aren't a designer, it's still, like, you can pretty much trust it to make it look generally nice enough to present to the public, even if you don't know what you're doing. They have a enormous amount of templates in so many different things, and it's, what's funny?
It was a top tier save. Sorry, continue.
You're good. So the sheer amount of templates is kind of, it's impressive, but sometimes overwhelming because you can get caught up on what you want it to actually look like. I use this for creating PowerPoints, better PowerPoints, because PowerPoint templates stink. Personal opinion. You can create logos in here, presentations, flyers, business cards. You can create actual cards, so thank you cards that you can get printed if you ever want to do personalized thank you cards.
If you make business cards on there, you can also have them printed.
Yep, Canva does have Canva print, so if you just want to, it's a little expensive, but not too bad. Canva will print directly from Canva. I've made infographics on here quite a bit. You can make worksheets, invoices, social media graphics, presentations, letterheads, all the works. Basically, if you know that you stink at designing things, Canva's gonna be your best friend to at least start. And if you know that you're pretty good at design, but you need some inspiration, this is another good place to go as well. What I like about Canva, the free version even, is that they actually let you upload all of your own images, which sometimes other tools limit, which is annoying. But with Canva, you can upload as many as you want and keep your own pictures. So when I'm using all of the AU stuff, I have to upload a bunch of logos. We have all of our pictures of all of our students in all of these different places, and I have to put up quite a bit of our own content in addition to the templates. So Canva lets me do that, no problems, which is great. Also with Canva, if you get your profile set up the right way, you can actually set it up to be a brand profile, and it will let you pick your customized brand colors so that it'll be right there in your templates as you're creating. So if you, yes.
They like just updated it like a week ago, so you can do that for free now.
That's always been like that.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's a business account.
No, that's,
always
I've
been
always been able to do
I
that.
misheard. Okay.
No, you're good. I think you get more options for customizing your brand if you do update to Canvas for work. But right now, see, because I can come over here and I have, hello. It's a little slow, sorry guys. Yeah.
It's because it's Apple.
Brand kit, see, you know what, it's the internet. See, so if you're free, you can't set your brand fonts or your logos, but you can set your brand colors. And you can also add a few team members, I think, for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a lot you can do with this, and I personally, I think it's good to start with if you are a little overwhelmed with creative design in general. Any questions about Canva? This one I'm gonna go on really quick. Sometimes you're gonna have to be resourceful in your jobs. I'm sure you've already all come across a period in time where someone has asked you to do something and you have no idea what to do, and you have to find some kind of tool or make something up on the spot with some assignment that you've been given. Does this happen to anyone else, or is it just me?
Question before you keep telling
Yes.
this is Rabbit, right?
You know what, Grace?
Have you, no, I'm asking,
No.
have you used it recently? Because they've changed things.
Yes, Grace.
Okay. Stop stealing
Dramatic
thunder.
sigh. My sisters are the peanut gallery.
What is
How
this
happening?
thing?
This is called Gravit, okay? This is called Gravit. And yes, they've done some updates, so it's a little bit more limited than I would like it to be, but it's still very useful. Where is my mouse? Why do I keep losing it? Okay. So, something that I know that a lot of us are going to end up needing to do is more flexible graphic design. Has anyone here, okay, student-run business owners, raise your hand. Okay. Have you had to create a logo for your brand?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the fun things about creating logos is that if you design them in anything that's not a vector, they will not shrink and blow up the right way, and they'll get pixelated and ugly, and it's annoying. So you need something to create vector-based images with. But the predominant softwares for that, aka Adobe Creative Cloud and Adobe Illustrator, are very, very expensive, and since we're not an accredited institution, we can't get the student discount. So, it's sometimes very hard to get your hand on tools that will do that for you. Gravit is something I've come across that works with everyone, and you can, again, download it to your desktop. Yes, it works on PC, John. And it's also a web browser tool as well. So this is what I've used to design different icons, wireframes, vectors. I've used this to actually, when we were going through the process of changing AU's brand colors and a little bit of our fonts, I actually used this to fix all of our logos because I didn't have any other tools on hand, and that's how I did it. I think it's a pretty easy to use interface as far as programs like this go. It does take a little bit of learning to do all the little things, but I would say it's pretty straightforward in the design aspect of things. Like I said, got a browser version. It exports in a lot of different formats. I think there might have been some limits with it recently, but you can export all of your logos into PNG and all the other image formats. I think they export in PDF as well, and I think they do it so that you can export in different qualities. So if you are exporting for print versus for the internet, you can change that as well. So you can customize how big the file size is going to be, how nice it's going to look in the end, which is it has been very helpful to me. I've designed some flyers in here before, and that helps me a lot. It also can store all of your designs in the cloud. So it has its own graphic cloud, and if you don't want to have all those files on your computer, it'll put them all there for you, and if you just get a free account, it'll save them all for you. So I just say, keep this one in mind for moments when you might need a cheap and quick way to mess with things like logos or anything that is more finicky when it comes to images. I think I lost my mouse again. Sorry. Okay. Did anyone have any particular questions about any of that content creation stuff?
Does it work for Linux?
Does anyone have any legitimate questions about any of this? You're so wonderful. Okay.
That's not a question. That's
Thanks, Faye.
It's a praise.
Thank
Which is
you.
better than
I
a question.
appreciate you. Okay, Jackson.
Why couldn't you have told me about that 2 weeks ago before I spent 2 weeks on logos?
I am
I'm
so
kidding.
sorry.
Thank you. I'll use it now.
Thank you for not telling me 2 weeks ago about this.
Okay. So this is kind of the last big category of tools that I want to talk about, but this might be my favorite stuff. This is all about tools for lifelong learning, which is a big catchphrase here at AU that we all encourage you to be lifelong learners. I think there's a
Also-
badge for lifelong learning. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, use these.
Woo!
Get your badges and use these. So, this is for discovering awesome things to learn, organizing the things that you learn, and for visualizing all of the stuff that you're learning. Okay, we're gonna try this again, but before you guys do anything, don't go to the side yet because I have to flip the slide.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Alright, I'm curious. I have this on a filter.
Uh-oh.
Answer it?
You have to answer it.
No!
Ah!
Oh
What do you mean
no.
by information?
You've unleashed.
Information.
Honestly,
Where do you
who's
learn
gonna
things?
use more than
Where do
6
you learn
characters?
things? I just want to know. I can tell you what my answer would be, but that would probably be cheating.
I personally like to go to Egyptian
the code?
hieroglyphics. To,
Yeah, what is the code?
That's great. Can you teach me how to read those? I'd really like to know.
What?
Cool. We'll have to meet up sometime.
Oh no,
I need
I like to go
10-page
downtown.
research paper on where I go to information to put it.
Please pick one. Jackson.
Oh, only one?
No, you can put more than one, but you can't put a 10-page research paper in here.
Wait,
Wow,
what?
people.
Oh, do we?
Fake news.
What other? Wait, we're supposed to put them over?
Can you read them off to us, Paige?
Yes, I can.
Just
I'll start
Google.
while you guys are doing it. So we have Wikipedia, of course. Google, the internet. Yep. YouTube, blogs, podcasts, other people,
You.
books,
Oh, okay.
subreddits, mentors, YouTube.
AOC's favorite kid.
This was my sister.
You asked
You did.
girl.
You're stealing all of my thunder. Did you come in here to do that?
Protect
That's
others.
fine. Books, trusted advisors.
Just don't
Okay.
read them, Paige. Don't read mine.
No, you're good.
And I won't steal your thunder.
Well, here, I'll just sum it up with online,
Hey, scroll down and you'll see a great one to sum it up.
all of the above.
Boom.
Good. Thank
Can I
you,
tell those
Jackson.
too?
What?
Ask my grandma.
One second, go back. I found a way to break the system.
No,
Yes.
No.
I don't trust it.
Don't just put Google like 20 times.
Are you kidding? There we go. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully this will be useful for you guys then if you're getting all your information. You know what? Everyone already knows this. Okay. So obviously classes and workshops aren't the only way you guys are going to be learning. You have to be seeking knowledge from basically everywhere all the time. And as a lifelong learner, you have to learn to pursue knowledge on your own time and of your own volition. Otherwise, you won't be learning. So, one of the things that I like to do with the learning that I have is to make sure that I am understanding everything that I'm taking in. And that's something about all of you people who said that you learn from the internet. That's great, except for a lot of times the internet tempts us to think we know everything, except we actually forget basically 95% of what we read. And so it's important to know that you are actually capturing this information in a way that's helpful to you. One of the ways that I like to do this is with a tool called Simplemind. Is anyone here aware of what kind of learner they are? If they're a kinesthetic learner, an auditory learner, a visual learner? Has anyone ever talked about that before and knows what they are? Yes, okay. Who is an auditory learner? Visual? Okay, kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be probably more geared towards my visual learners, kind of with a little bit of kinesthetic, just because you have to be organizing things yourself. But Simplemind is a great way to mind map all of your information. Who is familiar with the concept of mind mapping? Okay, cool. I love mind maps, and I particularly love Simplemind. I will confess this is just for the Mac.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It's
Get
just
out.
for the Mac. I think there's a browser version.
Right.
That's correct.
We use it on my laptop.
Do you know when I first got this tool, it was only available on the Mac?
And then they got Sense.
There you go. Now they have it on PC. There you go, John. You can enjoy it. If you care about Simplemind being pretty, it has quite a few themes and arrangements that make it look very nice. I'm going to show you what one looks like in a minute. It's shareable with different team members. All of us on staff, we were working on a gigantic mind map a few weeks ago for something that we're doing at AU.
It's the mother of all mine.
Yeah, it's huge. And we were all able to share it. I baked it. I was highly incorrect. Very rude.
Generator conceptualizer.
The nice thing about Simplemind, there is a pro version if you care, but the free version is very powerful in my opinion and good for quite a few things that you would need a mind map for. Yep, there you go.
Whoa,
This
wow.
is old. This is old. This is something that we were ideating maybe a few years ago. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a while ago. But this is kind of an example of one of the mind maps that I have on my computer at the moment. And this one is freeform layout.
challenge mapping.
So it's a little bit like that.
Can be.
But you can do a lot of different themes.
It's a
So
great way to capture your challenge map in some place.
automatic themes.
That's how our badges are done. Our badge diagram.
Yeah, do you guys, all of our badge diagrams are done in here as well. We have
Has anyone here
different
not seen a badge diagram? Good answer.
themes. Yes, Grace.
Is it so? The free one's just Simplemind Lite, and then there's Simplemind Pro.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know exactly what Simplemind Pro does other than the light version because I
It
don't know
has
how
a
much else.
lot more on the toolbar. Not that you have to use any of it.
You could technically. That's weird though. There's actually quite a few
Don't
tools that you can add to the toolbar right here. I just don't because it's too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so this is pretty, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory once you use it. You add a bubble, click a bubble icon, a bubble starts, and then if you go over here, click another bubble, bubble, right in the bubble, move the bubble around, do whatever you want. Great.
Bubbles.
How can you easily print mind maps from Simplemind?
Okay, that's a good question. I believe, and I can't read it right now.
Because I think there's a print tool, but when it does that, it doesn't format the right way.
Just take a bunch of pictures.
Okay, I don't remember at this moment. I believe there's a print function. I know that sometimes the layout gets a little funky. I can't remember if there's an export to image.
When you click on, when I click on print, it pulls it up as a PDF.
But I was just wondering if there's a way, because like when I do that, it'll sometimes mess up the format.
Does it mess it up, meaning it cuts off some of the mind map?
That's why
Okay.
just do screenshots and then print those out.
Yeah.
and send next
Worst
week.
case scenario, do a screenshot. There could be another way
I
to.
was just wondering if there's a way that you could make it break in pages instead, because like if you have a really big one, it'll shrink it down so like it's worthless to print out because you can't read it.
Mhm. That might, you know what? That might be what the
Probably a
one
pro
does.
feature.
It does it better. That's probably a pro feature. I would say screenshots are gonna be your best bet.
Yes.
The program that John made the maps on was
Draw.io.
yeah, that has a very easy printout function.
Yeah,
There
it
you go.
shows you where the page is, and then you can rotate the page in there, and it exports to PDF. Easy.
Okay. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to print your mind maps, try draw.io. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can copy
There are a
and
lot
paste
of
like
tools
that?
like this out
Yeah,
there.
there's plenty of tools like this. This is
that's
just
a
the
good
one that I
question.
have that I've used the most often, so that's the one I chose to talk about. This is me losing my mouse again. Okay. These are a little bit out there tools. So you all know, well, most of you know this about me, that I have an affinity for whiteboards. My job deals with whiteboards quite often. Who doesn't know that about me, actually? Okay, just so those of you who don't know this about me, I own a business. It's called The Story Sketcher. I do a lot of whiteboard animation videos for marketing purposes. So I live around, like, I have lots and lots of different sized whiteboards. I have 200 and some markers.
Have you ever had to do a Draw My Life?
You know what? I got asked to do it, but it never panned out. Weirdly, that's one thing that I've still wanted to do, but no one has asked me to do. But would like to do it. Andrew.
Do you like free trial?
What?
Your navigation's still broken.
Thanks, Andrew. My website's having some issues, but that's okay. Here's the thing. We're surrounded by whiteboards here at
I think I just heard
Jackson. Okay, we're surrounded by whiteboards here at Apprentice University. Yeah, our whole office is entirely full of whiteboards. We have whiteboards in every single classroom. However, I just recently had a revelation with some friends of mine. I was talking to them. I was asking, hey, do you have a whiteboard? I think it was at their house. I was like, do you have a whiteboard that we could use? And they're like, no, I haven't owned a whiteboard since I was like in elementary school, in homeschool. My parents got rid of it after we didn't need it. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. I think everyone should have a whiteboard because it's a whiteboard. What are you talking about? So here's the thing. This might sound really weird, but I really think that whiteboards, you should own at least a little mini one that you can carry around in your backpack. They're so cheap. They're dirt cheap. And if you want some cheaper dry erase markers, Amazon actually has some pretty good of their own brand of